Wonderful morning, children. Welcome back to our AVS class. In the first two classes, you have learned so many things about plants. You have learned the basic information of plants, structure of a seed, what is a reproduction, how seeds are germinating, and how seeds are dispersed from one place to another. Everything you have learned, children. Anyhow, I just wanted you people to recollect some points once again, children. Listen carefully. The part of the plant which grows under the soil is called the root system. The part of the plant which grows above the soil is called the shoot system. The process by which living organisms produce more of their kind is called reproduction. Most of the plants reproduce from seeds. Some plants reproduce through their body parts also. A seed contains three main parts: an embryo, cotyledons, and a seed coat. The process by which a seed changes into a seedling is known as germination. Seeds are scattered away from the parent plant. This process is called as dispersal of seeds. Seeds can be dispersed by wind, water, animals, or by explosion. Now, we can move on to the next topic, crops and agriculture. Yes, what are crops? Crops are nothing but children. They are the plants of the same kind that are grown in a large area. They provide us food and other useful things. Listen now. Plants that are grown in large quantities to provide food and other useful substances are called crops. Crops are of different kinds. First one is food crops. What are food crops? The crops used as food. For example, we can say rice, maize, pulses, wheat, these things. Second one is fiber crops. What is meant by fiber crop? Do you know, children? Yes, crops which are used to make paper, cloth or rope are called fiber crops. For example, cotton, jute. Third one is oil crops. Example, sunflower, custard. These are the oil crops. According to the season, crops are classified into Kharif crop and Rabi crop. First, we'll see what are Kharif crops. The crops that are grown in the summer season. Crops that are grown in the summer season are called Kharif crops. The crops that are grown in the winter season. Crops that are grown in the winter season are called Rabi crops. We can differentiate these two type of crops. Read it now. First one, Kharif crop. Kharif crops are grown in summer season, whereas Rabi crops are grown in winter season. Kharif requires a lot of water, but Rabi crops requires moderate water. Example for Kharif crops are rice, maize, brinjal, tomato, mango, watermelon, these things. Example for Rabi crops are wheat, radish, carrot, apple, orange, these things. The next one, to get a better yield, we must take care of our crops. We must get healthy crops also. So, what are the things we have to follow to get healthy crops? The first thing is crop selection. We must decide the type of crop to be grown according to the soil in our field. Why? Because different crops need different types of soil. Next one, manure and fertilizer. We must add manure and fertilizers to make the soil fertile. Children, do you know what is what is manure and what is fertilizer? Let me explain. Manure is natural, whereas fertilizer is man-made. That means manure is prepared from the waste matter of animals. Fertilizer, it may be natural but may also have some chemicals and other substances. While comparing these two, manure is cheap and it does not harm the soil. But fertilizer is costly and excessive use of fertilizers. Listen carefully. Excessive use of fertilizers may harm the soil. Do you understand the difference between manure and fertilizer, children? Well, the next important thing is adequate water supply. We must water the crops in a proper manner. Some crops need a lot of water, but some crops need only a moderate water. So, adequate water supply is very important. The next thing is protection of crops. We have to use insecticides and pesticides to keep the crop free from pests and insects. But these chemicals are harmful, so we can use biopesticides. We can use biopesticides which is natural and not harmful. Then we must remove the unwanted plants from the field. This process is called as weeding. The removal of unwanted plants is called as weeding. The next one is fencing. Fencing the field also helpful to protect the crops from grazing animals. Next, we will learn about farming and agriculture. What is agriculture? The practice of growing large quantities of plants for food and other purposes is called agriculture. The term agriculture consists of two words, agri and culture. Agri means the land and culture means to cultivate. So, cultivate the land is called agriculture. Do you know one thing, children? Agriculture is the main occupation in our country. About 70% of people are doing agriculture in India. Now, let us know about the stages of agriculture. First step is the preparation of soil. Soil is plowed by tractor or by animals. Plowing is the process of breaking and loosening the soil so that roots of crops can penetrate the soil. Next step, manure and fertilizer. Manuring, it will improve the fertility of the soil. Next, sowing of seeds. Seeds are sown evenly and at appropriate depth in the field because seeds sown superficially can be eaten by the birds, and if it is sown very close, as the plants will not get sufficient space to grow. Then the field is supplied with water. Watering the crops is known as irrigation. Watering the crops is known as irrigation. The next step is spraying insecticides and pesticides to protect the crop. And then weeding. Already you know that weeding is the process of removing unwanted plants from the field. And then the matured crops are cut and gathered. This process is called harvesting. This process is called harvesting. After harvesting, crops are stored in godowns and granaries. So these are the steps involved in agriculture. Once again I repeat the stages. Listen carefully. First one, preparation of soil. Then manure and fertilizer. Sowing seeds, irrigation, pesticides and insecticides, weeding, harvesting, and then storing the grains. Lesson 1. Our lesson 1 more about plants is over here, children. Thank you. Thank you very much.